Well, hello. Welcome to the show. It is Sunday. I want to say August, but it's not August. It is August. August 4th,
It is August.
2019. What year is it? So, anyway, welcome to the show. Yeah, last week, man, I fell asleep. And yeah, and then that's what happened last week. So
The
anyway.
next time I'm late and you talk trash about that, I'm going to remind you.
We're always late, dude. We're supposed to start at 5:30. It's 5:37.
Oh yeah, no surprise.
So, is anyone surprised that
I'll
we?
still remind you. 'Cause I find it funny.
Oh man. All right. So, I have come to the conclusion that Microsoft just cannot send an update down anymore without some kind of issue in it. At
Wow.
all.
I guess.
So here's the story. Here's the story. So my lovely G7, Dell G7 that I've got sitting next to me here was having some issues with it. It was having some really weird, bizarre kind of graphics issues on the desktop. So I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure. I said before, I'm pretty sure this is the floor model. So I was like, and the first thing I did was I reset Windows when I first got it. But I was like, you know what? We're going to do it correctly. So I reinstalled Windows on it, right? So I installed the Windows 1903 update in there, or that version, right? And I had installed that version with it previously before too, because that's supposed to be the next new update that's supposed to be coming out, right? There's an issue in there, and we'll get to that in a second. Actually, no, we'll get to it right now. You want to know what the issue is, Zach?
What is it?
So supposedly there is a driver incompatibility somewhere in there where it causes audio to not work.
Which is not work at all?
Right, yeah. Just like the Realtek driver's in there and it says it's working fine. The actual driver itself in the device manager for audio says it's working fine, but then in the other section of it, there's like an Intel one that's like, oh, this failed to start, and it causes a bunch of problems, and I spent like a good... I did something that was kind of... it was stupid and comical at the same time, and I'll talk about that in a second, but anyway, so... and it reminds me why I hate doing it, too, so we'll get there in a moment. But anyway, I don't understand how flippin' hard it is for Microsoft to flippin' figure out how to send an update out without issues in it. For frickin' sakes! End rant. But, actually, no, not end rant. Seriously, Microsoft! You've effed up with files being deleted, drive reassignments causing problems, now no frickin' audio, and apparently this isn't the first time this has happened. I don't understand what the actual F Microsoft is doing these days. And this is another reason why I hate this whole flippin'...
The U word.
What?
The U word.
Oh, not updates. I don't have a problem with updates. It only becomes a problem when they F it up, and they can't seem to figure out how to un-F it up. This frickin' Microsoft is a frickin' service. Let's update your device whenever. Oh crap, we realized that we've F'd something up. Now we gotta figure out how to fix it, and we might not even fix it right away. But it is an issue somewhere between the brand new update and a driver issue somewhere being incompatible. So at this point, I've just rolled it back to the previous version of Windows, and it works.
1809, I guess.
Yep. I'm using 1809 because apparently I can't go to 1903 yet. Figure it out, Microsoft. End rant. But anyway, I kid you not, I have spent the last 3 days trying to figure this frickin' thing out. Installing drivers, uninstalling drivers, trying to find the right drivers. So I finally said F it, and I just went back to 1809, and I was like, you know what? It works. Screw you, Microsoft.
It's not like there's any cool features in 1903 anyway. Who cares about it?
The light theme. But I don't care about the light theme.
That I wouldn't use.
I don't like the light theme. It looks weird.
I don't particularly like it either. I mean,
So
people just naturally don't like change, and I think that's the reason why I dislike updates so much. Because it's like, don't you just hate it when they update something and it just looks a little bit different?
Usually,
or they move buttons around a little bit, or it's like, why did you have to do that?
right? Yeah, right. Here's the thing. So
Like, it worked fine before. I liked it before. Now you've moved it around on me.
Or
I don't like that.
Or you've effed up the update so something critical like audio, which is kind of a big part of a computer. I don't freaking know. But anyway, so I just bought the computer, right? So what does every new computer that you buy have?
Bloatware?
Well, that, but no, it has a warranty and support with it, right? Okay. You see where this is going, don't you?
You try to RMA it at first?
No. I called Dell support because I said, you know what? The thing is under warranty. I'll just let them deal with it. Yeah, Dell support person had no idea.
Kind of hit or miss, isn't it?
Like, they had some knowledge. They understood what the device manager was, and they understood drivers, kind of. But I get on the phone, and I'm talking to this person, right? And they're like, okay, well, we need to determine whether it's a hardware issue or a software issue. I'm like, I know what the problem is. And throughout the entire call, this tech support person was, and I'm sure they have their own protocols that they have to go through, but this tech support person wouldn't listen to anything I said, really. I'm like, I am telling you, it is a driver incompatibility issue with this particular driver. Here they are, installing this, installing that, installing this, installing that. That's not the freaking problem! So it reminded me why I completely hate tech support and I never call them, because I usually know more than the other person on the other line. It was funny. It was comical. The support agent was looking for, like, they had opened a program. It was like, oh, you need to do an update. So the support person's like, okay, so we need to do an update. Like, no, really? I can see the screen and it says we need to do an update. By the way, did I mention to the IT support person, which I did, I am an IT major. I know what I'm doing. I just don't want to deal with it right now. If I can make somebody else do it. That was more the problem.
So what was the objective? Did you want to send it in?
No, the objective was to hopefully have the tech support person just fix it for me.
Like remote access it?
Right, yeah. They remoted in, and the theory was that I had already done like a couple hours of research or something like that, or like an hour of research, and I was just over it, and I'm like, shoot. Like, I've got a support plan. I might as well just let somebody else do the work for me. I'll just sit back and let them do it. That was supposed to be the theory.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as I called them that. And why the flip, Dell, can your automated system not pass my service tag off to your tech? The automated system, please enter your service tag. Number, letter, number. First thing the support agent asked me, what's your service tag? I just got finished giving your flippin' telephone system that exact same thing. I can't honestly believe that it is that hard for the telephone system to keep track of the user and then pass that information off to the support agent. You ever love how, like, when you call like one of those support lines or whatever, it's like, please tell us what your problem is. And then you finally get to a real person and the real person's like, what's your problem? I just got finished telling your automated system 5 minutes ago what the problem was. Oh, man. So, yeah, anyway. So, between Dell and Intel and Microsoft, it has just pissed me off over the last couple days. Everything is working fine now, so I'm going to leave it for right now. But,
I'd leave it forever. Just don't touch anything. Just don't touch anything. You got it working the way you want. Leave it.
That whole, yeah, like your DIMM slots on your previous board.
I'll have you know that mine works fantastic.
I said on your previous board, dude.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Let's not look at it funny. It'll screw it up. So anyway, yeah, but between all of that crap right there, I don't get it. I don't understand why Microsoft can't seem to get their ish together to release an update without issues in it. And I don't know what goes into it, but isn't this what the testing portion, like the test period is supposed to be for? So that when you release it, although apparently it doesn't matter because apparently testing doesn't do diddly squat for Microsoft because they still release it with issues in it. Something, let's delete your file, something, drive reassignments. Now no audio. And like I said, this isn't apparently the first time this has happened. So, anyway. I'd call Microsoft support, but they're going to charge me. But it'd be kind of funny. To be
That's a good joke.
To be like, hi, fix your ish. Because it's literally garbage. So, I thought about this. It would never happen, but it'd be funny. If I was the CEO, if I became the CEO of Microsoft, the very first thing I would do, I would walk into the Windows development portion, right? And say, first thing, figure out how to make the software actually work and figure out how to make updates work correctly without any issues in them or you're fired. Oh, also while you're at it, take out all the stupid telemetry data and the automatic updates. I don't know. I might look at that differently if I was actually in that position of trying to make money, but it'd be kind of funny. Anyway. So, yeah, that's the thing that happened this week, and it's been pissing me off, but besides that, everything else has been going pretty good. So, but anyway. Do you remember a guy named Drew from some of our IT classes?
No.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, so we've expanded the Tech Beam team a little bit, and we're actually in the process of hopefully actually going out and doing something soon. That's our theory. We want to start going out to prospective businesses and trying to see what their technology needs are. So we're trying to start something actually. But anyway, so we were hanging out yesterday and hopped in the vehicle and my phone is set up to connect to my radio in the system. So it started playing. I was listening back to last week's, or not last week's, but the week previous show. Something I like to do from time to time just to see where we can improve and things like that. But I was listening back to it and he was also happened to be in the vehicle and he's like, it sounds like the two of you are sitting next to each other because apparently the audio quality is that good. So, that was kind of interesting. Now, granted, he didn't have the visuals of the screen. It was just audio, but he was like, yeah, it sounds like you two are literally in the same room together. I was like, well, we're not. In fact, we're two completely different states, but that was kind of cool. It's amazing what we can do with internet technology these days. You know, voice over IP and stuff like that.
It is nice, and it is also unfortunate. Some silly people want to limit that.
Oh, yeah, something net neutrality.
Yes, of course.
So anyway,
I mean, we should honestly be glad that our biggest worry is net neutrality rather than like blatant censorship like other countries sometimes
that
do.
is true. That is true. So anyway, so shall we hop into some topics? By the way, last week too, like there were literally just like I found like one topic. I was like there's just I don't know. Lately, like in the tech news, there just hasn't been anything that great. I don't know.
Well, this past week there was something interesting.
What was that?
Something about Capital One.
What happened? I didn't hear about this.
What? There was a big breach.
What?
Capital One got the hacky. The hacky. That's what they did.
Are they like Equifax now? Or are they gonna have to like,
I don't know.
pump out billions of dollars now? So, I didn't hear about that one. That's interesting. So, anyway, moving on. This thing right here. Oops. This direction on your screens. But anyway, this thing over here in the box. This is one of those dash buttons that Amazon used to have. Do you remember what those things are?
Oh, it's that stupid button where you can just push it and it will automatically order some crap.
I like that. It's that stupid button. I like
Dash
this
button.
I like
Hello?
the idea. No. I like the idea. I think it's convenient, but apparently Amazon doesn't think it's maybe Amazon thinks it's a stupid idea because Amazon discontinues its push to order physical dash buttons earlier this year. And now the online retailer is completely shattering the program with the company set to stop taking orders from any dash buttons left starting on August 31st. So that basically just means that you're going to have this button sitting around your house that literally does nothing now. Because, thanks, Amazon. You know what? I don't know why. This seems like it honestly seems like a poor move, I think. Because, let's think about it, right? The theory was that you had a button. In this case, it was a Doritos button, but let's say something like laundry detergent, right? Let's actually look at a real world example here. So something like laundry detergent, right? You put it in the laundry room, and the thing is these things are wireless, so you can stick them anywhere, right? So the theory is let's say you have a little spot that you put your laundry detergent, right? You put that in there, you put the button in there, right? You're running low on laundry detergent. Oh, click, done, ordered, don't have to think about it. I don't understand why Amazon would not want this because think about it, right? It's convenient for somebody to just hit the button and it goes straight to Amazon. There's no thinking about other retailers or anything like that. It's just, ooh, I need this, click, done. So, I don't understand why Amazon would make the decision to discontinue this program. Unless it wasn't as profitable as they thought it was going to be. But, yeah. So, the news comes as a bit of a surprise given that Amazon had first discontinued Dash sales in February. The company had pledged to continue to support them so long as customers still use them. So maybe there is a little bit of this culture of people just weren't using them. I don't know. But an Amazon spokesperson recently told CNET that usage has significantly slowed since then, resulting in the impending shutdown at the end of the month. Still, it's an odd move for the company that essentially removes a way for customers to buy stuff from Amazon, which in theory is something that Amazon wants to make easier, not harder. There you go. Do you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
Like, how much... Honestly, though, you're smart when it comes to IT. How much simpler could they make that? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure there's someone out there who thinks it's too much work to push the...
So what do we want? Mind control now? Oh, I'm thinking of. You know what? That's probably
They
not.
want Amazon to just know when they're low on something and buy it for them. That's what they want.
If we can figure out how to create that
And
technology,
you know
we
what?
will be
Amazon
rich.
would love that too, because it would mean they'd have like cameras all over your house. Think of the data they'd get. Woo!
Right, exactly. Yeah. Your daily trends, things like that. You know, we've noticed that. Well, there are refrigerators that can do this stuff now, where they
I've
can.
noticed that Bob is missing his phone charger. Time to order him.
Oh man, is that? You know what? Let me ask you though. We are in the IT world, right? Is that something that you welcome, or is it something that you're just like?
Absolutely not. That's creepy. I'm just saying that Amazon would love it. Amazon would
Yeah, for
slurp
sure.
that up.
For sure. That's what I wanted to ask. I was going to ask, I was like, is it something that, like, you're okay with? Or are you just
No
like,
way.
nope,
That's not good.
nope?
Amazon do not need cameras in my house.
Oh, man. So,
Which is essentially what they would need in order to fulfill such a silly thing.
right? Yeah. So Dash buttons were first launched in 2015 as a way to make ordering products from Amazon even more seamless. I mean, come on, you hit a button, boom, order. The idea was that customers could order one of the $5 buttons for a specific product, but here we go, laundry detergent, paper towels, garbage bags, or even Doritos, like the picture. And then place that in their house anywhere they want, ready to press to reorder whenever you need it. In the years since, though, Amazon has shifted its strategy, preferring to focus on ordering products through its... Oh.
So tell me why you can't reconfigure the button to order something else.
I don't know how
I don't want to know about that.
I don't know how the button works.
Okay, well, if the button seriously actually can be reconfigured, then it's probably not designed very intelligently, I would say.
It probably can, but not by the end user.
Come on. Really?
Right, okay, but here's the thing. Now this makes more sense. People are preferring to order their products through what product now?
Alexa?
There you go. Because think about it. Now this makes...
Amazon wants to just put a microphone in your house instead of
that, but think about it, okay? These buttons are only good for a specific product. Think about how many things you could rattle off to your smart home, right? And then have those added to your list. That makes more sense now. And it's seamless. You've got it connected to your Amazon account. You say, you know, hey, I need this, 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 and this. Boom, perfect. I've added that to your cart. That makes way more sense, actually.
No thanks.
Well, yeah, I know for you. You're not a fan of that.
Alexa just doesn't. Alexa, Google, Siri, like none of them do it for me. I was trying to use Google in my car, and I mean, I can get her to do most of the things that I want, but it's just so much easier to just click two buttons and do what I want.
Wait, you have the Google Assistant in your vehicle?
On my phone.
Oh, yeah, in your phone. Okay, yep. Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, because, you know, we got this new hands-free law. You know, you're not even supposed to.
Oh, I heard about that.
Which is stupid. Like, one click to change the song or something or answer the phone, you know, whatever. That's not going to kill anybody, but whatever. Apparently there's like somewhat of a, I don't know if a loophole is the right word, but if you have like a stand for your phone, it may or may not be allowed. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the theory is.
So I have a
supposed
stand
to be...
for my phone now, but I was trying to get Google to do some stuff, and I was like I can't even tell Google to answer the phone. You know, it's like, what? Really?
Really?
I have to swipe and then click to go on speaker. Like, great, I guess. I don't know. Not many people call me while I'm driving, or at all.
I was gonna say, I don't think many people call you in general, do they?
But you know, it would be nice to not have to think about like, am I gonna get in trouble for changing the song while I'm driving? Like, really? Is that where we're at now? I don't like it.
I guess for me, like, so because my phone is connected to I have an aftermarket radio on my system, but because it's connected through Bluetooth, I can just hit the button on the radio and it'll switch songs, things like that. After I have it, set up and everything, of course, but, so that's a thing. But anyway.
I thought about plugging in a USB stick into there's like a little port in the console.
I don't know if
but
it
I'm
works
sure,
that way.
I'm sure it is just horrifically clunky to use.
Oh,
and I don't want to do that.
I'm sure it is clunky.
Like, no, I don't want to do that. I can get Google to play anything I want. She's really picky about how you have to say it. You have to be like, "Hey Google." She's gonna wake up now, isn't she? Yep, she just. I didn't think about that. You have to address Google and then say, play. She doesn't like if you just say like, play whatever. You have to like play album song name.
Oh no, I can.
It's so weird.
I can.
Like,
no. Mine, my home, I can just tell to play a song because I've got it connected to Spotify, and it will play it.
And then half the time she asks me what app I want to use, and I'm like, really?
I wonder. Hang on.
I don't know. I could probably do some more tweaking with it.
Let's see if this works.
Better, but it's just not. I don't like it.
Let's see if this works. I don't know if it. Hey Google, play Horizon.
Okay, here's a Spotify playlist called Forza Horizon 4.
Well, that's not what I was looking for.
See, there you go.
That didn't quite work out how I thought it was going. I also picked a song that
half the time you tell Google to do what you want, and then she just botches it, and you end up picking up your phone anyway.
I did pick a song, however, though, that isn't like. So I picked a song that was that didn't have any copyright on it because, of course, YouTube, right? But I don't know how well known that song is. If I pick something like what's a good song now?
You said song name by artist, you'd probably have a lot more.
Right, but like if I told the Google Assistant right now to play like Despacito, which is by like Bieber and all them and things like that. That was the first song that came to my mind. But anyway, if I told it to play that, it would pick the right song. Or that's the thing. If I pick an actual like well-known song, it'll actually play it for me. It's when you start playing things that aren't that traditional that it starts having issues. Things like that. Let's see here. See, here's the issue. So we're streaming on YouTube right now, so I have to pick music that can be, let's see here. I don't even know if there's anything good in here.
I mean, I don't know. Call me old-timey, I guess. But I don't want to use voice assistant. I just don't want to. It just doesn't. I was trying to, what else? I was trying to get Google to send a text for me. And I said, hey, send a text. And she just prompted me to write the text.
Really?
I was trying to avoid doing that. I figured out afterwards that you're supposed to say text person and then message. But then when I did that, she prompted me, is this correct? And then stopped listening. So I had to click yes, send it.
Let's see.
The whole point is that you're supposed to avoid clicking anything at all, which I failed to do.
Let's see if this works. So this song won't have any copyright on it, so we can have it playing in the background if it works. So, hey Google, play Roller Coaster by Tobu.
Okay, Roller Coaster by Tobu. Here it is on Spotify.
See, that worked. But I actually had to physically say the title and artist.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel natural, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way I can describe it. It feels like, well, it's almost like you're talking to a robot or something.
Or an AI, you mean?
I think that's actually kind of a bit of a stretch, but yeah.
So, anyway, this goes on to say dash buttons are far more universal solutions than solve the same order something right now problem that the physical buttons were intended for. But anyway, so yeah, so that's news about that. Speaking of voice assistants and microphones in houses, first Google, then Apple, and now Amazon, all three are now bowing to pressure from the EU over the issue of humans reviewing recordings from their respective digital assistants. And this is probably your biggest issue with having one of these in your home is...
Now, here's the question is it, I mean, obviously it has to listen all the time, right, in order for it to know, but is it, like, you know, if they're sending that information back when you weren't prompting them to, that's not good. You know, but some people are freaked out by the fact that it's listening to them all the time, but how else is it supposed to know you're talking to it?
Right. So here's the thing.
Fact of life.
Here's the thing, though, is I think what it should do, if it doesn't do it already, and I don't know enough about them, but let's say it is always listening to you. It's listening for its trigger word, right? But I think what should happen is that trigger word, like, the listening should be done locally on the device until it hears its particular trigger.
Right. Of course.
If it doesn't do that already, it might, but that's how it should work.
You know what? I'm willing to bet that. Well, I'm actually not sure if the others do it or not, but I bet Apple does that. Apple is more privacy-minded than most evil corporations.
That is true. I think you're right. I think like most of Siri is local to the device itself.
However, that fact may be a contributing factor to the fact that Siri's not very good.
That could be.
Because, for example, Google sends your inputs, you know, off to Google to be processed. So she's fairly good at picking up what you're saying.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I find that she doesn't misinterpret what I'm saying that much.
That is true. But
she just sometimes refuses to cooperate at all. It's not out of misinterpreting. It's
Zach, that's how most women are.
Oh, is that so? I see.
I'm gonna have.
Be right back. I'm turning my Google Assistant into a guy now.
I don't know if that probably is possible, but
it's probably possible.
You know, yeah. It's funny to listen to Siri.
Siri has a lot of accents.
Right, it's funny to listen to Siri in other countries.
Yeah, Siri has a lot of accents. I think that my dad's Siri has like a British accent or something.
Oh, yep, yeah, you can set that.
Somebody thought it was funny to change it one time, and he just left it.
He left it, or he couldn't figure out how to get it back.
I think he just left it because he thought it was kind of funny too.
So anyway, but yeah, so they're now bowing down from the pressure from the EU for, you know, the whole human thing, reviewing basically the recordings. Now, while Apple and Google pause human review, Amazon has actually decided to offer a clearer, more comprehensive opt-out setting to Alexa users. So you can physically opt out, which I think is a smart move on Amazon's part, and I think the other two, both Apple and Google, should follow suit. Just like, you know, you install certain programs and they're like, even with Chrome's like, would you like to send information back to us? No! I don't need you guys seeing what I'm doing.
Well, I can't seem to choose that many options about Google, but I can choose colors, okay? So Google can use a red voice, an orange voice, an amber voice, you know, it's don't know what these voices mean, but
I'm going to use a
thing.
red voice.
And I don't know who John Legend is either, but apparently he can be my Google Assistant too.
Oh, John Legend is a because you don't listen to pop music.
No, I really don't.
There's a bunch of
Who is
people
he?
right now
He
like,
just a singer?
yeah, he's a singer, but there's a bunch of people right now that are like, how do you not know who John Legend is?
Oh wow, I don't want to hear it. He can be my Google Assistant. That's the point.
Let's you know what? Here's something fun. How many of these pop artists have you heard of?
I'm gonna turn up my volume. I want to see what a red Google Assistant sounds like.
Ooh, have you heard of Martin Garrix?
One sec.
John Legend here. I lent my voice to your Google Assistant so you can hear me do things like answer your questions, brief you on the weather, and tell jokes while the regular assistant voice handles the rest.
That's kind of cool, actually.
All right, I think red is the standard one. Let's hear orange.
Here are the voices you can pick for your Google Assistant.
Stop here.
Amber. Oh. What the heck? Keep going.
Google Assistant. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just stop here.
Okay, let's try green.
Here are the voices you can pick for your Google
Okay,
Assistant.
so there's a
If
male.
you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just stop here.
You know, it's amazing how natural they sound.
For your Google Assistant. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it, just stop here.
That was cyan, by the way. Here's blue.
Here are the voices you can pick for your Google Assistant. If you like this voice and want me to keep using it,
All right, they sound basically the same, honestly. I mean, not really, but they sound very similar.
Right?
I'm bored now. Isn't it the same?
Let's see here.
I find that interesting.
Hello, Bigsby. How can you help me?
Oh, God.
What would you like me to call you?
Let's see here. What is the weather like today?
I need your permission to continue.
With all the darn
It is
permissions.
partly cloudy with a high of 84 degrees and a low of 70 degrees.
She honestly sounds less realistic than Google, I feel.
I think you're right. Yep. Kind of more like a Siri.
Yeah, you'd almost be forgiven for thinking that Google's voice is actually a recording of a person. Bixby is pretty easy to tell that it's
Yeah,
a bot.
Bigsby's easy to tell. Google, on the other hand, though.
Google is like scary realistic, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, remember they had that robot that could actually like make a phone call and like.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They could
Some people
actually.
didn't know it was a bot.
Right.
It actually didn't identify itself as a bot.
No,
like
it didn't. It didn't. It did not identify itself as a bot. I don't know if I have the Google Assistant on my on my device.
Did you use
What is
your
the weather like
dedicated
today?
Bixby button to activate that feature?
Forecast for Clear Lake is 71 degrees and partly cloudy.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty normal. Yes, I did hit the Bixby button, but once I was in
Oh,
Bixby.
lovely. Don't you love the hardware dedicated to supporting this trash piece
Yeah,
of
but I
software?
think I can remap it. If I wanted to use like the Google Assistant, I could remap that button with like a quick click would be like whatever I want it to be, and then like a long press would be something else or something like that. Or I know you can't take that functionality away from the button itself. It's always going to be a Bixby button, but
What,
they
do you have
have.
an S9 Plus?
I have the S9.
That's nice.
But I believe that they have given you the ability, if you want, to remap that button to also perform another function.
Personally, I'd just root the phone and disable it completely. Although, I'm not sure if there's a root available for that phone yet. There
I
might.
bet you there is.
How long has it been? been a fair while, hasn't it?
It's been probably at least a year. So, anyway, that reminds me. I still got to pay this thing off. Yeah, joy. Anyway, so back to this. Amazon already offered offered a much clearer set of privacy policies than either Google or Apple, having set up Privacy Portal after the last round of scandals over Alexa voice recordings revealed more than most realized. The portal now has updated language around what checking certain boxes will do. Specifically, you can go to your Amazon Alexa app and navigate to your settings, then Alexa privacy, and finally manage how your data improves Alexa. And find new language on the page that now specifies or specifically calls out that your voice recordings may be used to develop new features and manually reviewed to help improve our services. So, you can also find the page via your web browser, amazon.com/Alexa privacy settings, yada, 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 yada. Bloomberg first reported the change earlier the other day, and Amazon spokesperson provided the following statement. We take customer privacy seriously and continuously review our practices and procedures. For Alexa, we already offer customers the ability to opt out of having their voice recordings used to help develop new Alexa features. The voice recordings from customers who use this opt-out are also excluded from our supervised learning workflows that improve manual review of an extremely small sample of Alexa requests. We'll come back to that portion in a second. We'll also be updating information we provide to customers to make our practices more clear. Now, let's go back to that real quick, that small sample of Alexa requests. A small sample might be 1%, but depending on how many people have an Alexa in their house, 1% can still be a significant amount of people.
Well, I mean, if 1 million people have an Alexa, that means 10,000 people.
That's not a small number by any means.
Yeah, that is a fairly hefty number.
Right. So, anyway. That clarity is much needed, and earlier language made it appear that unchecking a box turned off uploading of your voice recordings, which was not the case, as they're still uploaded to Amazon servers. The only change is that while the old settings only opted users out of having their utterances reviewed to help develop new features, the new setting means they will not be reviewed by humans, full stop. So, kind of cool. I like this. In essence, Amazon has updated its settings and the language around them to actually do what you would have assumed they would have done in the first place. Which, okay. I can appreciate the transparency here from Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that it's so difficult to just find some freaking transparency with some of these privacy policies.
I think a lot of these companies word things in a very specific way to make them confusing sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, I would not be surprised at all if that was the case.
Yeah, so, but now Amazon does offer a tool to let users delete their voice recordings whenever they wish, but even with these new settings, Amazon will still store recordings of your voice by default. If you want to delete them, you will need to periodically go into your Alexa settings and do so yourself. Apple has paused human review of utterances entirely across the globe. Google has paused it in the EU, and Amazon is simply offering this clear opt-out. All three companies have a different approach to handling this growing worry about human reviewers, and hopefully all three will eventually end up in the same place: clear disclosures, transparent options for managing data, and the ability to not have your voice automatically stored if you do not want it to be stored.
Well, I mean, it is... I don't know. It's. I think that people need to understand that, yeah, it's going to be it's going to just create a way better use experience.
Yeah, it is two-sided.
When that information goes off to their servers to be processed, it's just so much better.
It's two-sided.
But, that doesn't mean that it needs to be reviewed by a person. I don't care if when I, activate my Google Assistant and tell her to do something, that it goes off to Google to be reviewed by their servers and an algorithm there. if it's going to be reviewed by a person, that's a little weird. But I mean, I'm not really particularly bothered. Like, I don't care if someone listens to me, like, just say some crap. But it is weird, I guess, to think about.
It makes me,
nor do I really see why it's necessary.
it makes me think of the commercial of let's see. There's a oh, here it is. Yep. Yep. Hang on. This it reminds me of this kind of hang on.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
Oh, potato!
Okay, that's...
It's like where if you watch the video there, they've actually got like a real human like pretending to be actually Alexa and like responding back to you.
No, I haven't seen that.
But it's kind of funny, isn't it?
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, did I not have... I might have not had... I might have just had the audio there. But anyway. Oh, man. Kind of funny. But... I should have taken a nap today. Anyway. do you see the kind of the like the joke I'm trying to make
Yeah,
there?
I see it.
Where it's
I'm
like
trying to watch it.
Yeah, you've got a human reviewer, and then that human reviewer is actually being Alexa, giving you your answer back. So.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna just Google that real quick.
Hold on while I process your request.
There you go. I need some time to think about this.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on now into Microsoft news for the week. So, I've already vented this week about Microsoft and how they can't seem to do an update. But, so this is kind of cool. So Microsoft is planning to improve the way you reset or refresh a Windows 10 PC. The company has revealed it's testing oh great. How will they screw this one up? But it's testing a new cloud download feature for resetting Windows 10 when hardware fails or the OS needs reinstalling. While the feature isn't available for public testing just yet, it will appear on devices when you boot a machine in a failed state. This will likely be similar to the way Apple handles macOS reinstalls. So I don't know if you've ever reinstalled macOS on a Mac before.
Yes, I have.
So it's pretty slick, isn't it?
It actually is. Yeah, you can just plug it into an internet connection and just do it.
Yep.
You don't need to go fussing around with, I need to go find another computer and a USB stick. None of that crap. You just plug it in and
Right.
wait.
Yeah. So with the option to reinstall macOS by downloading basically a copy from the cloud, Microsoft has actually been using a similar feature for its Surface lineup recently, allowing your device to recover from the cloud by downloading a copy of Windows 10 and then reinstalling it. Now,
when are we going to get I suppose they already probably have some way of
When are we
going to
get a version of Windows 10 that doesn't have issues in it?
Never. Because all software has issues. But, when it would be interesting to see like some kind of a mirror copy of your install with your settings and your files and your
Here's
programs.
the
And
issue
everything
with
just goes
that.
straight right off there, and that's going to take a lot of space. And It's
Privacy
sounds
concerns,
kinda
though.
impractical.
Privacy
honestly.
concerns. Privacy
You
concerns.
know, I wasn't thinking about that. I mean,
Because,
that is,
well, think about it. Okay,
I'm sure they'd love to look at all your files, wouldn't they?
Right, exactly. Ooh, they're using this program and this program and this program. We can market to them.
Notice that you're not using Microsoft Edge as your web browser.
Oh,
I want to
man.
know why.
You know what? I totally ran into that because I was changing default
Yep, you
apps in my
probably
new
did.
install. And it still does
Are
that.
you sure that you want to use Chrome?
Are you sure you
over
want to use
Edge?
Chrome? Edge is
Edge
the
designed
recommended.
for Windows 10. It's really good.
No. It says Edge is the recommended web browser for Windows 10.
Honestly, forgot exactly what it said. Sorry.
It said that on a couple of programs where it was like, this program is the recommended program for Windows 10. Yeah, I don't care. That program is a piece of crap.
I don't recommend it, so sucks.
So anyway, yeah, so likely it's going to be something similar to like the Mac OS reinstall, which will be really cool. Let's see. Existing support tools from Windows, from laptops like Dell, Asus, HP, and more usually involve a copy of the OS on a partition part of the drive, or third-party tools to restore from the cloud or a USB key. Microsoft appears to be addressing the many different ways you can recover from issues on multiple laptops and hopefully provide an easy method for anyone to use. Definitely would be. When I was going through, I was deleting all the partitions, right? There were like 7 partitions on the drive.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Where the heck? Why, Dell, do I need 7 partitions on my hard drive?
I question the value of 7 partitions. That's quite a few.
I don't know if there was 7, but there was a lot.
I mean, there is generally like an image on there somewhere. And
Right,
there's
I can like
maybe some diagnostic tools on there somewhere as well. I mean, those are handy to have, honestly. Some of those manufactured diagnostic tools can really get you out of a pinch.
yeah, they're gone now.
Well, they're gone now, I guess.
Didn't
need them anyway.
No. You know what I do need to do, though? I need to throw a product key in here to update this to Windows 10 Pro instead of Home Edition. So.
So you have to reinstall to do that?
No, you can do it right in the OS. It unlocks features is what it does, apparently. So I don't know if all the features are already there and they just lock them down somehow, and then when you put the key in, it unlocks them, or what happens. But, yeah, you can do an in-OS...
I wonder if that works on 1511.
I think it works on all versions of Windows.
Interesting. You know, I thought I looked into that before, and it was like, you might have to reinstall to do that.
Maybe you do, but...
You know...
Oh, I might not want to do this. Let's see here. More properties. Yeah. Oh. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, enter, so you go into like your activation, things like that, and then you enter a new product key in there. And it will change things up. But anyway, yeah. So I don't want to actually show that because it's got like it doesn't have my product key, but it's got like my Windows install key or whatever. I might not want to share that publicly. So, but anyway, yeah. So the feature will likely be key for Microsoft Windows Lite and Windows Core OS efforts. Microsoft is creating a simplified and Chrome OS-like version of Windows 10, and being able to restore that to devices without plugging in a USB device could be key for some of the hardware that will run on Windows Lite. Microsoft will also need to ensure it has the full support of OEMs and all important drivers for this to work well, though. So expect to see this feature roll out gradually to machines once it's even ready for testing. So, you know what?
Windows Lite. So what? Windows 10 S again?
Oh my gosh. You know what I found out about installing the 1809 version of Windows?
What?
which is dumb. And they fixed it in the 1903 update version, but in 1809, you cannot bypass creating a Microsoft account. It will not let you.
I think that if you don't have an internet connection, it will.
Oh, yeah, I didn't try that. But no, like in previous versions of installing Windows, like I've always had the option to create a local account. They've hidden the option, but it's there. But no, like they flat out just like did not give me the option. They're like, you must create a Microsoft account. I'm like, well, screw you, Microsoft. I don't want to. Well, then screw you. You can't set up your computer.
Time to install one previous version then.
So, no, what I ended up doing was I created a Microsoft account, just a temporary one, and then I undid it. So once I was actually in, I switched it into a local account.
Yeah, the way that you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to, because I've done just a colossal number of it. Is what you're supposed to do is don't do any internet connection, don't plug it in, don't put it on Wi-Fi, don't do nothing, and then it will just say we can't do that right now. Make a local account.
That makes more sense.
Or something like that. I honestly forget.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And however, there is a sort of caveat to that. If you mess it up, if you plug it in or put it on Wi-Fi, you can't go back. That's it. It will be like, nope, you need a Microsoft account now. Sucks to be you.
I know. You know what they've done?
Might as well nuke it from
so,
orbit and start
in
over.
1903, now they have Cortana as part of the setup process. So Cortana's like
always been a part of the setup process. Hey, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help. A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh my gosh, you've heard that way too many times.
You know, yeah, I've heard it a lot of times too. That's why I remember.
That's what I said. You've heard that way too many times. That's exactly. A touch of Wi-Fi here.
No. A little sign in there, a touch of Wi-Fi. No, sorry. A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan.
Oh man. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. That's like for me. So one of the worst parts about being a master control operator for me was that obviously as a master control operator, part of my job is to make sure commercials play, right? So I would literally get commercials stuck in my head. The one that we all hated is
God.
I swear I have PTSD from the "Hi, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of My Pillow." Ay. Yeah. Hey,
Cortana is that for
you're
me.
that guy.
I just
the My Pillow guy. That's right. And I'm here to help you get the best night's sleep ever.
Whenever I hear Cortana, I am angrily investigating the offending computer and finding because heaven forbid it be muted by default. Nope, we are going to loudly blare our stupid assistant into your speakers.
Hi, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help. What is it? A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there,
and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to do.
That's kind of funny. Anyway, so, but yeah, I think if Microsoft can pull that off and pull it off in a way where they're not going to F it up, even though we know they are, it'll be kind of cool. But anyway, excuse me. Moving on. So Samsung appears to have a new Windows laptop on the way with a design that seems to have taken some inspiration from Microsoft. The Galaxy Book S, which was leaked a couple days ago, has a very square, monocolored keyboard and trackpad layout that very much resembles the design of Microsoft's Surface laptop. Obviously, minus the the Surface's trademark fabric covering and all that fun stuff. But anyway, yeah. So I wonder. So apparently Samsung is trying to build a Surface Book replacement. I wonder how this is going to work. Now, Samsung has been in the... Well, okay, but Samsung has been in the hardware market, I think, longer than Intel.
They've been making laptops for a while.
Or Microsoft, I mean.
I basically never run into them.
They
used to buy a Samsung laptop already. And the one thing that I think of when I think of a Samsung laptop is I think of this one weird Samsung laptop that I saw that had a hardware switch which activated a shutter over the front camera.
Yeah, you said that the other day, which is kind of cool.
I guess. Neat.
Well, for right now, spec details are limited. There's USB-C and a headphone jack. Let's see here. It could be... Oh, this is interesting. It could be running on a Snapdragon 855 processor.
And then not going to run Windows.
Maybe it will. Well, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work.
It's going to have to be Windows for ARM then, which, if I remember correctly, was discontinued.
No. Windows Lite.
Oh.
Windows S.
Oh, God.
Windows S.
Yuck.
I don't actually know what Windows Lite is. I think Windows Lite is supposed to be designed for like other processors that are like aren't x86 based.
I'm sure it's just going to be a cut down version of Windows.
But anyway.
And it's going to be cut down in all the worst ways.
Yep. So anyway, so that's the thing that Samsung might be doing, which will be kind of interesting. Let's talk about Xfinity real quick. So Comcast's Xfinity Mobile, get this, now charges extra for HD streaming on its unlimited plans.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I'm pretty sure for a time, and that time might even include the present, there are Verizon unlimited plans which don't allow you to stream video higher than 480p.
That is on an unlimited plan. Like, what else do you want from me?
Just the fakest news ever is unlimited plans. That's it.
Right, yeah. Xfinity Mobile will now charge subscribers an additional... How much? How much for the privilege of streaming HD video?
The privilege of using your phone's lovely display at higher than DVD quality.
Yep.
Awesome.
What do you pay for the privilege of that?
$20.
There you go. Right on the mark. $20.
What? Wow. I actually didn't even have a clue.
Yep. $20 right on the mark. You're usually pretty good. You're pretty close for the most part. Anyway, yeah. $20 for the privilege of watching HD video on your unlimited plan that you're already spending, who knows how much on.
See, I really think that the best way to go about, I actually haven't done this myself, but it seems to me that a really not really, but a somewhat effective way, at least, to get around some of this crap is to sign up with a smaller carrier who can't really afford to nickel and dime people like that, or they'll lose customers.
Right. I wonder about your coverage area sometimes, though.
Well, see, that's the thing, is if you do your homework, you might be able to get on a smaller carrier which buys bandwidth from a big carrier. And what that means is you're basically piggybacking on a big carrier.
Yeah.
I forget the name of... There was one that I remember hearing. It's like they use Verizon's network and they actually have good plans. Wow.
Although
I don't have to think about that. I'm like really lucky right now. My family has an unlimited corporate.
Yeah, that's what you said.
It actually is great. Like, everyone should have this.
Yeah. How much you spend on it, though? That's the question.
Well, it's not mine. So
I know.
I will very much enjoy it until I have to get my own plan.
So this phone right here, my Galaxy S9, is on Verizon. This is fully fledged on Verizon. Now, I only have 2 gigs of data a month, but I don't actually hit my data cap very often. That's why I've only elected to go with 2 gigs.
Yeah, it's actually not... I mean, you hit your cap pretty quickly with anything video related, But if you're just streaming music and browsing online, you're not.
Well,
gonna
but see, okay, so
that.
all my music is in Spotify, and I download my music.
Right? Yeah, and that too. I do too. I have all my music on my phone. I don't have to stream it.
Right. Yep. Exactly. So
And I
that.
don't know why people don't do that. It's really not difficult, but I guess. no one likes
Well,
to
yeah. So
stream
I have a
now.
Spotify
I
Premium.
just find a lot of companies, and this goes for games too. Actually, companies don't want you to own a copy of the software that you pay for or the content that you pay for.
It's just like that
They
Apple
want
idea.
to have it, and they want to charge. Well, essentially, they want you to buy access to it. They don't want you to buy it. Okay, and that is ridiculous. Okay, if I buy a game, if I buy a piece of music or a movie or something, I want to have that data stored on my device, or at least have the option to do that.
No, it goes back to that. It's a service.
Well, and that's if it's a service, then it should be okay. For example, like Spotify or like Netflix or something like that. That's a service. You're right. You're paying for a service, which is
Yeah, but like
access
with
to
software.
their library of stuff. But if you say bought a movie or an album or a game, that's yours to keep forever.
No, because here's the thing. The model now is SAS, software as a service. That is the model.
I'm talking about. I'm mostly talking about. Well, not really.
No, your game is software.
Less software and more games, music, and movies.
Yeah, but games are still considered software, so it still
Software,
follows
but
that.
they're kind of in between because they're also like a piece of media, right?
Right,
and if
but
you buy a game,
it still follows. It still
You
follows
own
under that software as a service theory.
No, and that's BS. That's BS.
No,
If
I
you buy a
don't
game, I'm
disagree.
downloading it.
I don't
Yeah,
disagree
exactly.
with you on that.
Exactly.
I don't
But
disagree.
They want you to essentially. It's almost like you've. They almost want it to be like you've bought a lifetime subscription to it, which is not okay.
You know, here's the thing though. So I can see the argument from the other
They
side.
maintain access to it. That's what they want.
Okay,
They want
no.
to be the
Let me
ones
play
maintaining
devil's
access.
advocate here. Let me play devil's advocate here because so Adobe products, right? My Adobe products I can no longer buy outright, right? I have to pay for a subscription every month. However, here's the theory, right? As I'm playing devil's advocate, you always have the latest software version. It's always up to date. Always up to date.
Yeah, I mean that is a fair point, but let's not forget how unfriendly most of the companies behind most of these pieces of software and media
That is true,
are.
but even Microsoft is the same way. Microsoft is the same way with Office right now. Well, Microsoft's kind of weird because you can actually buy Microsoft outright or Office outright. But
personally, I would. If there was a piece of software that I required, I had an actual need for that specific piece of software, and I could not own it. I had to pay a subscription for it. I would be really tempted to go and pirate it. Like, seriously, because I don't like that at all. That just gives me such a bad feeling.
I guess I wasn't thrilled about it when I was making thinking about moving to Adobe's products and things like that. Now I still get student discounts on stuff, which makes the price a little bit more bearable.
Right.
But
I would be
at the
really
same
thinking
time,
about alternatives or
well,
pirating.
okay, but here's the
So
thing.
Pirating bad, but if
No.
you're not gonna let
Here's
me
the thing, though.
buy it the way I want to, I don't know, man.
So Adobe has, I don't know how many different products, right?
A lot. And with the
Right.
subscription, you get access to all of them, I'm pretty sure, don't you?
I do, yes. So,
But it is so expensive. Like, my God.
actually, it might have come down. I thought it used to be $60. I'm just looking at it right now. It's $52.99 a month.
$50 a month. Like, yeah, that is
Right,
ridiculous.
but I get the entire collection of 20 plus creative desktop and mobile apps, including Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe XD. I get 100 gigabytes of cloud storage on their platform, and up to 10 terabytes of cloud storage. Oh, well, that one's just call for details. But anyway, honestly, for $50 a month, like, that might not be that horrible for 20 plus programs. It's definitely better than the $20 a month for one program. Because think about it, right? So, let's say I was about to go that direction, right? Let's say even two programs. So that's $40 a month times 12. That's $480 a year, right? Which might even still be cheaper than what this is going to be. So I spend about, well, if I was paying full price, I'd spend about $635 on creative apps. But okay, so let's do this. 20 times.
Yeah, and at $50 a month, you're spending like that 600 whatever figure. That's like 2 years worth.
Yeah, but let's say so how many programs do I have
It's
installed?
a really short time. Like,
okay, so I have After Effects.
$600 over 2
Hang on,
years.
hang on.
What?
I have After Effects, I have Audition, Illustrator, Photoshop, and Premiere. So that's 5, right? So 20 times 5, right? So that's $100 times 12. That's $1,200 right there. So if I was paying individually for each application that I have, I would actually be spending more than if I just buy all of them together.
I don't know. I still find the numbers to be just absolutely ludicrous.
Well, but see, like, Adobe products themselves have always been priced high. So, and I guess it depends on the market that you're in. But, I don't know. I'm still a student right now, so I'm paying far less than that. I spend about $30, I think, a month. But, you know, it just depends on... I utilize the programs often enough that I think it's worth it for...
I mean, if you're a professional, fair enough. You'd probably better not be pirating it because you could get in actual trouble for that.
Exactly.
But if I had any need for Adobe software for personal use at those price tags, I would not lose sleep over pirating it. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't.
Well, there's still older versions floating around
for
out there.
hundreds of dollars per year, I would not lose sleep.
Well, I think one of the benefits you
Fortunately,
get...
I have no need for any Adobe software.
Right. I think one of the benefits, however, and this is where that whole software as a service and always having the latest updates makes good sense, is in the space of, like, you know, video editing, so effects, things like that, or even photo editing and things like that. They're always making advancements in the engines that are allowing you to do certain things, like cutting people out, so selecting things, stuff like that. So as soon as Adobe, you know, figures out how to optimize those things, and even in Premiere, optimizing it with new hardware that's coming out and things like that, then it makes a lot of sense, I think. You know, but I think it just depends on the situation that you're in. Some things, though, however, doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But anyway. But, yeah. So. But, yeah, I do understand it. It's the same thing when you buy a Mac. You don't actually... You don't... See, do you actually own Windows?
Well, Adobe software is actually useful, but a Mac? That's just a piece of junk.
Funny story real quick. So, had a guy come in with a Mac Pro, or an iMac the other day. Pretty old one, like a 2010 iMac. And he knew what the issue was. Basically, there was like something on the built-in graphics card that I think basically, like, the board needed to be reflowed, which we don't have any equipment to be able to do any of that stuff, but I jokingly told the guy, I was like, here's what you do with it. You just throw it in the trash where it belongs.
Whew. Yeah, no kidding, though.
Anyway, so, but, yeah. But no, yeah, you don't actually own Mac OS or Mac OS X. You know, you're getting it included with your... The licensing gets weird for, like...
Oh, well, I know that licensing
Mac
is
stuff.
weird, and obviously, like, when you buy something, you obviously don't... I guess there's different ways of defining the term own. you can define own as in you own the rights to that software and you can do anything you want with it, including distribute it and charge for it or whatever, or you own a copy of it. You have the data on your hard drive that makes the software run.
Right.
And
that's
when
like
I
Windows
say own,
right
I
there.
am referring to the second one, obviously.
Yeah. But that's like with Windows right there, where like you own a copy of Windows.
But you don't own Windows.
Right, yep.
You own a copy of it.
Exactly.
And the big thing being that Microsoft cannot take that away from you. If you do not own an actual copy of it, whichever company operates that can take it away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, who wants that? Who wants to buy something and have it taken from them?
Right. There definitely is that mentality and that worry when you are paying like a subscription service for something.
And that's actually here's something interesting. So there's a news service being launched by Google called Stadia, which is like this cloud gaming thing.
Oh yeah.
You heard about that?
Yep.
There's a lot of
we've talked about
happening about how you do not own a copy of anything that you buy on Stadia. So Google can just take that away from you anytime you want. Or anytime they want, I guess. And a lot of people are not very happy about it.
No, I wouldn't be either.
And yeah, and I agree. I think that's horrible. I wouldn't want to use it. But there's actually a bigger problem with the service, I feel, and that's that most people probably don't have a good enough internet connection to really get any good use out of it.
They're supposedly,
thanks, cable industry.
They're supposed to be like working around that somehow or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I've seen some numbers get thrown around that seem to indicate that it would take like between, I think, 30 and 40 hours a month to saturate a 1 terabyte data cap. That's if you did nothing but play Stadia games at 4K. That's if you don't use your internet connection for anything else, and if you one person did. Now imagine you have a household of people.
Right.
Maybe somebody likes to watch Netflix a lot. Somebody likes to play games a lot. You're going to be really running out of bandwidth on your 1 terabyte cap that just about every ISP has.
Right.
Like.
By the way, I just threw my Pro key in here real quick on my laptop. So, upgrade your edition of Windows. Upgrading your edition will add new features to Windows. Before you start, make sure to save your work and close any apps. The typical
that means it's
update.
Probably going to run updates and restart the computer.
Yep, this update might take a while, and the device will restart. Blah, 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 blah. So, anyway, we're going to let that do its thing. And, oh, yeah, also, you can't, really do anything with your computer while it's doing the update, which is always awesome. But, anyway, so, going to let that run in the background. But, yeah, no, you're right. It is kind of this weird theory to think that, I'm paying for something, and it could just be gone the next day, and I don't own any of it. Even though I've been pumping out.
I feel like it's less of a problem if you're paying for a subscription service where it's you're just paying
right.
for access to the library that they have. But if you buy a specific piece of media, a game, a movie, an album, whatever, you need to have access to that.
Right? Yeah, I think so.
Because you bought it.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree.
And I don't know why anyone would give their business to a platform that doesn't support them. Because what happens when the service in question just ceases to exist? Maybe 10 years down the line, it's just not doing so well anymore. They just turn it off.
Right, exactly.
They discontinue it. What happens to the stuff you bought?
Exactly.
Is it gone? Are they gonna offer you a download or something? I don't know. What are they gonna do? Who knows?
Right. Here's a good example of that. Now, I didn't pay anything, but that whole theory of your stuff just being gone. This was way back when I was in middle school, but I was storing some files on a online service, and then that
storage.
Yeah, online storage, and then they ceased to exist. I don't have any of that stuff anymore. It's just
gone. Yep.
It's gone. Faded into oblivion. But oh yeah, it does kind of do an update. It looks like. Yep, working on updates. It must grab something is what it does, but anyway. So, I am so spoiled now, and I think we talked about this a long time ago, but now that I have an SSD in all of my systems, oh my gosh, going back to a system, like working on a computer with a physical hard drive in it, shoot me.
You'll like this.
So slow.
So my workplace, all SSDs.
Nice.
Yep.
Although, like
They're all Nooks.
your end users don't know
the
that
end users
at
are
all.
wrong. The end users are all wrong. That's a constant wherever you go. It doesn't matter. Actually, I mean, some people are like more willing to help themselves than others. Others are just hopeless.
Oh man, what is the without self-incriminating yourself or getting yourself into too much trouble? What has been the shall we say like the dumbest thing somebody has come to you for yet or like so far?
I have one in mind, but I can't remember. I just know that something colossally stupid happened. Ugh. I don't know. Whatever. There was a printer. I'll tell you a different one. There was a printer that was. I mean, there's 2 filing cabinets that this printer was placed on top of, and they had a height difference of about a couple of millimeters, maybe. The printer was set at an angle because it was kind of set in between them, right? Just a little tiny bit, right? Refused to work. Absolutely refused to work. It would just jam every time.
Oh.
Okay. Pushed it over onto one of the cabinets so it was flat. Works. God knows why. Thing is cursed.
You know what's funny is so I had a couple different keys there. I thought that was a pro key. It's not a pro key.
What is it?
It's an enterprise key.
Okay.
So
enough, I guess.
Apparently my laptop is running an enterprise version of Windows now.
Good enough, I guess.
That's interesting. Yeah, I had a couple keys just kicking around, and I thought those were both pro ones, but apparently that was an enterprise key. Okay, cool. I don't know what features the enterprise option of Windows gives me. Hopefully the ability to opt out of some of the telemetry data, but I don't think it does. But I might be wrong on that. I might have to look into that actually. But interesting. I looked to see the system came back up, and I looked to see where it was at. Let's see, OS build info. Yeah, Windows 10 Enterprise. Interesting. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's good for a show this week. I don't have anything else to add to you.
No, not really. We just kind of ranted about crap.
Right. Yeah. Well, that tends to be what the show ends up turning into, anyways. So, with that being said, that does it for this week. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. Turn on the bell for notifications if you haven't done that. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.